Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Fire Up Your Heart, and that's you, and that's you, and that's me, and that's me, and that's all of us, I hope. All of be, all of be. Well, I'm back home. I will maybe say temporarily because the people cooking stuff over here, I don't know what it is. I kind of knew what meth smelled like when I was in California when it was being cooked. So I don't know what it is exactly, but they're still winning. They're still winning. Maybe not in the afterlife, but boy, that was really scary. He beat the crap out of me unneedingly. This is the other thing that happened. I'm going to list the stuff. Maybe we'll read a Bible verse. I literally just got home tonight. We had to actually get a pretty big bond. So now we're having to deal with a bondsman. Maybe I would have been better off just sitting in jail because they were not letting my lawyers call through or my husband's in the first 9 days, while I should have actually been shipped to the hospital in the first 24 to 72 hours because of the injuries and blood on my clothes. Because when he tased me, he held it on my side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and plus here. You won't see much of it now. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. I healed quickly. But still, my main concern is that the courts kept letting this stuff through, and the post office, if any mail was going there, they either destroyed it, hid it, or didn't let it get to us. So here's some more laws being violated. Apparently we moved into a really bad area of Monroe. We were unawares of this. I'm not drinking. It's been a few weeks. I would say cross our fingers, but let's go to the Lord. The other thing is they drugged me in the jail during if I was to go to my pretrial service. They gave me something to mess me up real bad. I don't know what I did in there. I pray that the Lord knocked me out on the cement with no cot and a nasty smelling blanket, and it was just filthy in there. Boogers on the wall, nasty all over the place. They kept moving me around in these holding cells by myself. And I know I lost about 3 days after the thing, and when I would actually try to naturally fall asleep, I was kind of shaking like I was having a seizure because he had used too much force, not only with the taser, but with his physical abuse on me. At one point, it looked like he would have been violating me from behind. He did it in front of my husband. This was all in front of my husband, in front of our garage. We never received a warrant. We never received that I had violated any of the PPOs. They had violated the PPOs and stuff, but then they were putting it back on me. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I did want to read a Bible verse, but I just need to list these things. Judge Arnold let the false PPOs through. Now, I saw him in the Zoom at the hospital with my attorney, and I mean, he doesn't seem that bad, you know what I mean? But it's hard to know just in one meeting. They were obviously upset because I missed the first 2 appointments, but I didn't know who my lawyer was. No one was allowed to get through to me. They were not allowing, the jail was treating me like a bag of, they treated me less than I thought my experience back in 2002 was insane. This really topped it. This really topped it. I would say like on the order of a softened Hades or something. So they wouldn't let me brush my teeth. I couldn't get clean clothes after so many days. No cot. I mean, this is America. This is kind of where I get upset about this. It shouldn't even be familiar of anything that evil, that just the mocking, the ridicule, the shunning. I guess I'm just not going to get into it anymore because I don't think we should have to be comparing America to the third world country because this was supposed to be America. We were supposed to have more humane practices, even in the prisons and jails. So if I'm having to beg for a toothbrush, even I'm willing to even brush my teeth with a bar of soap, which they had not given to me. So the first so many days I had to just use water, no towel, just the stripes, and not allowing me access to a phone that worked. So that was a fun joke for them. And then also the food smelled like feces, and if I had ever smelled human flesh cooked, I would say that was pretty close to it. Now, I'm not saying that's what it was. They probably were just contaminating my food with something because I was labeled as someone that was resisting arrest and obstructing justice, which neither of them did I do. This would have been on November 9th in front of our garage, and he was slamming me around on the Mini, pinned me down on the ground, hammered around on me, boot on my side while he tased me too long. So when he tased me, he would go like this on my skin. So I had blood, and I ended up passing out and urinating myself. I could not control my functions. And then he dragged me to the car. These were too tight. He ended up snapping a bunch of these tendons. My veins were actually bleeding out underneath my skin. That is also another miracle. I'm not saying I'm a bionic woman, but I don't know how most of the veins are back. The only ones that have not fully healed and may never is on my feet. The left foot, that would have been the side he had me slammed on a lot. Kind of just felt like if you saw someone with a cardboard box with a bunch of sand or something in it, and he was tossing me around and wrapping like electric barbed wire around it or something, like with the thorn. That's what it felt like. It was just being tossed and tossed and abused. Missed church for nearly 4 Sundays. I might be exaggerating there, but it seemed like forever. And I had no access to a small Bible. That was something I noticed too from back when, is you could request some sort of something to read, even if it was a pamphlet over and over and over again. So I was looking at the brick walls, the white cinder blocks for too long. The hospital was better than they used to be, but they immediately wanted to go back on to over 10 plus years ago diagnosis and completely deny the police brutality and all of that. So I don't know. The dogs were like a mixture of sad and like confused. John took him to the station to pick me up. Now, the one officer did say when I was leaving that to call if this guy comes on our property. It is literally like being in prison now, but he's in prison too. So he put up a super high fence. And it is, I'll never see a sunset here again. So we'll have to drive to see a sunset. But I can see the sunrise. I can see the sunrise, and that's fine too. Okay, go away. Go lay down. I know this is all exciting. You thought you were never going to see me again, and I probably may have to go away a little longer too if some of this can't get knocked out of the way. So how I see this is all of this is to protect organized crime. I'm not saying I'm correct. Police refuse medical attention, excessive violence. They also shine the spotlight in John's eyes as they were leaving. He used like a zip tie thing, and then what they did is they covered it. They had 2 cop cars closer to the road, and then they used another cop car to take me to the station with handcuffs. He actually did have the one handcuff too tight, and that helped create more damage. So yes, they drugged me with something. It was this weird punch. They kept saying it was vitamins. God knows what I did. I know it couldn't have been pretty. I pray that the Lord just had me knocked out, most of it. Gave me none of my proper legal paperwork to be able to contact an attorney in time. Pretrial services bullied me, and then she upped the bond. I said, this is police brutality. I need help. I did not know that this guy kind of worked for the courts, and he also doesn't. That maybe he would have been safe, because I've had a bad experience when I was young with court-appointed attorneys. They want you to do plea bargains and go along with what happened. Really bad shadows here. So I apologize. But I look rough. I'm not healed up yet from the tase. I had blood in on the white of my eyes, and my eyes were affected. And like I said, I was having kind of like a seizure effect when I was trying to go to sleep, like a shaking type thing from the tase. I did not attend pretrial services because, once again, like I said, I had no access to legal help. They wanted to force court appointed on me without me meeting him or anything. Please pray for us. Dr. Asanawa, when I first got to the hospital, was horrible with me, horrible for days. Finally, the last 2 days, I said I was going to report him, that he had me on too high of a dose of whatever the heck this is. I'll admit my ADHD has slowed down, but I feel really droned out, and it's just really horrible. They just kept saying that I had to get used to the new me. Well, I think I know what I am with Jesus, and maybe, yes, I maybe need a little calmer, but not to the point of like this. This is ridiculous. I think John was actually freaked out, and he's just trying to just be, kind. Kept upping my med for absolutely no reason. By this time, I wasn't being like, hey, this is my body. Are you going to call my last therapist? She's down in Ohio. He lied to me. He said that he called her. She didn't remember me. It was something on that order. It was just really wild. And then when I started to throw around that I was going to do some reporting, which I am gonna, because I wasn't, and this is the thing is people need to remember, when I'm in a facility, it isn't just me. It's others. It's others that confess to me what they're experiencing, and I take their word. I believe that the others were being bullied and abused with their meds, and that's why I report. I don't report for one single hood of myself. There's no validity to that whatsoever. But if there's a numerous amount of people, even upwards of 7, if there's only 10 to 15 clients, which there wasn't that many in the hospital, and 7 are complaining that their care is really not okay and something is wrong, and there's not a lot of, hey, this is my body, let's work with what we know, because a lot of us have been in a care facility or doctors or hospital, and we kind of know what our body can do or deal with, right? Yes. So when a doctor is prescribing meds that all of us have been on, we had horrible, horrible adverse reactions to it, you need to wonder what's going on. Alan Begley and his crew work with corrupt law enforcement. I just smelled some burning stuff. It's not normal. I think I covered all of that. I don't know if I had went on prior to the attack, but that they had vandalized some of our building equipment, our building materials, and actually I had a terrace. I had 2 terraces that were decent. They were on our side of the property, and they ripped those up and several other things. So, and then they left a space. They left a space on the back part. It was a small space for this cop to run through on the back side of the property and to attack me. And that's exactly what he did. My husband had to watch all of it. How horrifying. How horrifying. I mean, knowing that if he did something, then we're both locked up, and then what? Then what? They're blocking both our calls. We can't get out. We can't get through. He can't get to work. The dogs are here abandoned. What would we do? What would we do? So, good chance I'm going to cry. I've been beat around and wrestled around by police more than once in an excessive manner that was not necessary. In my lifetime, I have been excessively abused in medical facilities more than once in my lifetime. I'm not looking for a sob story, okay? Just expressing my testimony. The cost of discipleship, Luke 23. And he said to them all, if any man or woman will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man or woman advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? ? For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels. The Psalms that I finally found a Bible at the hospital, but it was a New American Translation. So that was kind of bothering me, but it was better than nothing. Better than nothing. I was 11 or so. What are we doing? A repeat? I guess a repeat? Good Lord. Oh my God. Lord, help us. I did 61 and 62. And another like nice short one. Well, we'll do 61. And goodness, we know we've done this a million times. Well, not a million, but 61. Hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. For the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. And when I get the folder that the jail was supposed to give me from the hospital, I hope that, yes, I'm sober. Well, I don't know if we can count that with this pill that they got me on. Okay, so, and we're going to compare because I already just noticed how vastly different it is. My goodness. Okay. Hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. For the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in the tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings. Tent, shelter. I don't know, maybe it's not that much different. I don't know. I will abide in the tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings, tent of thy wings. Be protected, regardless if you're beat, regardless if you're almost dying. And even if we die, where do we go? We go with Jesus. We go with Jesus. Is this part of the pill? I'm going to keep repeating a line once or a word. Lord, please be with me. Verse 5. For thou, O God, hast heard my vows. Thou hast given me the heritage of those that fear thy name. Thou wilt prolong the king's life and his years as many generations. He shall abide before God forever. O prepare mercy and truth, which may preserve him. So will I sing praise unto thy name forever, and I will daily perform my vows. I really want to go up and do some drumming. He does not have to work tomorrow, but we're going to wait because there's still some healing. This was real numb. It's not fully come back. This is not fully come back. I wish I never went on Instagram. I think I'm gonna knock it down because I went to the stand-up comedy and everything went to hell. So I don't know if that's why God is just saying, go back and try some stand-up again. Maybe that's not what he wants. I don't know. I just thought it was something fun. It's not like I'm gonna get famous or something. I didn't get raunchy or naughty. I talked about Monroe and people laughed and I thought it was fun too. And I guess something else is going on. So what's this? The bird. I've read it before. Symbol of meaning. Okay, the bird. A bird. The symbolism of it. The bird has come to symbolize hope, wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude, knowledge, and piety as well. That was just some tea. We've done it before. Okay, so, but we'll do them real quick. Well, I sure missed my little group. I really did. Granted, maybe most of them are my perpetrators. We don't know. But in order to be remembered, leave nothing behind but love. The essence of life is to communicate love. Do you think love is passivity, or do you think love is fighting for what is right? I'll ask that again. Do you think love is passivity or fighting for what is right? I'm in the second group. Life is best lived by focusing on your goals and dancing through all other distractions. I like that. Now, You guys be good. I'm going to be good as best as I can, one day at a time. And I must compliment Detroit one more time for the renovations they're doing in parts of it. And apparently people are going in that are moving from other areas, and they're buying like community, like corners and even maybe short streets, and they're renovating them together as a community. So I don't know if it was from the Lord, because I get so much harassment now. And it may have not been. But Jesus says, how long have you been in Michigan? And I need you to start loving the things that you should love about Michigan. And that Michigan needs us. And that parts of Michigan want us. I'm sure the organized stuff doesn't. But that I have to start loving Michigan. Because I do. I've always said I love Michigan in so many ways. And then these other ways, I really can't stand Michigan. It mainly has to do with the leaders of Michigan and how they handle money and stuff. And like this situation, they're willing to put me in jail for upwards of a year or more, maybe worse, with convoluted false reports and nothing proved or seen properly. We were arguing. There's been moments that were ugly, but he has been stalking, and he crossed the line way too much. And he's the one that started the threats. And he's the one that sent the mail saying, get out of LaSalle, we don't want you here. He's the one that did a lot of stuff. And for some reason, it went under the radar. How many times did I call for help? I probably come up to his elbow. Like height. But I'm a huge threat. To what? The cooking something that smells like garbage? You're burning plastic? Here I thought it was burning plastic. What are you cooking? What are you cooking at the trailer? How long you think your 15-foot high fence is going to cover this? Okay. Meantime, I'm just going to try to keep my head from getting blown off again. Okay? Love you. Bye.